Ever feel like you're talking to a wall when you pray? Like God has just forgotten about you or doesn't care anymore? If you've been there, trust me, you're not alone. Many of us hit moments where we wonder if God is even listening or if he's just gone silent on us. In fact, you might be feeling like you've been abandoned, left to navigate life's toughest moments all by yourself. But what if I told you that feeling of abandonment doesn't mean God has left you? What if it's actually a sign that he's closer than you think? Let's dive into this. If you've ever felt this way, I get it. It's easy to assume that silence means distance. After all, when we feel alone, it's hard not to jump to the conclusion that maybe God isn't around or that our prayers aren't being answered. But that's a common misconception. Sometimes God's silence isn't a sign of absence, but a sign of something deeper at play in your life. Think about it this way. Have you ever had a close friend who didn't speak much, but their presence was enough? Just knowing they were there gave you comfort, even without words. God operates the same way. His presence doesn't always look like what we expect. We often look for fireworks, signs, or loud answers to our prayers, but sometimes his presence is quiet, gentle, and maybe even a little mysterious. Here's the thing. Feeling like God has left you is completely normal. It's part of the human experience. Even the greatest figures in history, from prophets to kings to people who walked the earth alongside Jesus, faced moments where they felt abandoned. But in those very moments, God's plan was still unfolding. There are reasons for the silence. Sometimes it's about teaching you patience or helping you grow in your faith, or preparing you for something even greater than what you could imagine. Now, I want to take a moment to thank you for being here and reading this. Seriously, it means a lot. I know how tough it can be to sit with these feelings, to wonder where God is in the middle of your struggles. So I just want to acknowledge you for being open to hearing a different perspective, for taking the time to understand that you're not alone in this. And let me just remind you, your feelings are valid, and it's okay to question, to feel lost, to wonder why things aren't going the way you thought they would. This doesn't make you less spiritual or less worthy of God's love. In fact, it's in these moments of questioning and silence that we often grow the most. It's like when you're training for something big, whether it's a race, a job, or a personal challenge, the hardest moments often lead to the greatest breakthroughs. You don't realize it, but you're building muscle, resilience, and faith, even when things feel empty. I want to encourage you to keep holding on. Keep praying, keep seeking, keep trusting. God's not gone anywhere. In fact, he's often closer in the moments of silence than he is when everything feels loud and perfect. Your faith can grow in the quiet, in the waiting. It's during these times that you learn to lean not on your own understanding, but on something far deeper. The trust that God has a plan for you, even if it's not immediately clear. And if you're wondering, how do I know he's still there? That's a great question. Sometimes it's about paying attention to the little things. Maybe it's a message that pops up at just the right time, or a sudden sense of peace that washes over you, or even a quiet knowing deep inside. Often God speaks in whispers, not shouts. So pay attention to the subtle signs. They matter. I want to wrap up by saying, you are loved, you are seen, and you are never truly alone, even in the moments when it feels like God is silent. Keep walking in faith, even when you don't see the next step. Keep believing, even when you can't feel his presence. His silence does not mean his absence. He's got you, and he's always been there. Trust the process, and know that your breakthrough could be just around the corner. Thank you again for being here, for reading this, and for opening your heart to these thoughts. You're not forgotten. You're never alone. Keep going. God's got you.